Today, we're going to be unboxing the Arrma Vendetta. Stay tuned. Alright, here it is. Wow, that's pretty. Let's take this off. Alright, oh, this is so much fun. And there it is, the new RC car smell. Okay, so here we are, the Arrma Vendetta. I'm going to go over some things and then we're going to see what comes in the box. The Grease Monkey's going to help us out there. So my first speed car, really nice looking setup here. There's some kind of wavy stickers on here. This really deep swung spoiler in the back that's replaceable. There are a couple of nuts on either side. It's got these little cutouts in the fenders to help with the aerodynamics of the car. Some of the stickers look like they were kind of put on in a hurry. They're not the best, but I don't think that's a huge deal. So, Grease Monkey, what's in the box there?
Whatever this is.
Whatever this is a different spoiler we can put in the back here. It's cool.
The controller.
We have the radio here. What do we got in here? We have the Spectrum DX3 radio. It's ready for the smart technology if you use that, the smart batteries.
And a big book with all of the stuff.
A big book with a bunch of tools in it. Let's pop that open. Let's see here, we have the owner's manual right here. For those of you watching this, if you want to see what this looks like before you buy it, maybe see what the car is made of, you can get this online. We have the speed pinion right in here. It's a 26 tooth pinion. What comes on it from out of the box is a 20 tooth. So pull this out of here. It's a big boy. And a bunch of tools. So yeah, what is there anything else in the box? Just a box? Alright, well we can get rid of that too. So let's look under the body. So Arrma has these neat little clip retainers, rubber clip retainers they put on all of their bodies. So we'll pop those loose. There'll be plenty of opportunity to scratch up the body later. And so you see that's a beautiful blue with green trim. Okay, so now we're into the heart of the beast. We have a 3900 kV brushless motor right here and a 100 amp ESC. Both have a fan on them. The motor also has this cooling attachment. EC5 plug there with a cap pack on it. We have double wishbone suspension front and rear, sway bars in the front and rear, so that'll help you with some stability. Have this nice rear air spoiler to apply a little more downforce. Not a ton of travel on the suspension, but that's not a bad thing. This car's not made for a lot of travel. It's made to go fast. You see the center drive shaft. It's four-wheel drive. Here's a carrier bearing in the middle to avoid any kind of wobbling at speed. Servo here, receiver box, little antenna. We have the Hoon 11s, really sticky, rubbery, kind of firm tires here. Up front we have a foam bumper. Hopefully we never need that, but it's there in case we do. So yeah, let's take the car out for a bit of a run. We're going to run it on the stock 20 tooth pinion. Then we're going to swap up and put on the 26 tooth pinion. This car, under the right conditions, according to Arrma, will go 70 plus miles an hour. So we're going to see if we can't accomplish that. So here we are getting out with our first run. See, it's kind of loud. It's supposed to sound like that, but definitely didn't expect it to sound like it was eating gravel. It's fast, no problems getting it going real quick. It accelerates, and it also gets a little sideways. It'll go sideways. Remember, this is the same chassis as the new Infraction 3S. It's obviously got modifications for speedrun, but it's essentially the same. Decided to take it over a little bit of a bump in the parking lot. Not the best idea. I was in this parking lot and I thought this would be big enough, but honestly, between accelerating and then taking the time to brake and not run into anything, it just barely did the job, and it was quite a big parking lot, so rather not run into any curbs or anything, but next time around I will probably turn up the brake force on the ESC just a smidge.
How many miles did it go?
The body's really low to the ground, which is what you want for something that's aerodynamic. But you can hear when I stop accelerating and push on the brake, the front end of the car is digging down into the pavement, and you're hearing that rattling sound. It's not ideal. Obviously, you don't want to mess up the body, but also it needs to be lower so you get better aerodynamic quality out of the car. Okay, so here we are with the 26 tooth pinion. I had to move to a bigger parking lot so I had more space to speed up and slow down. Like I said, I didn't change the ESC, so the brake force is set stock. I think, in my opinion, you probably turn it up a notch so that there's less risk of running into a curb or sliding off your running space, your track, or in my case, a parking lot. After a couple of warm-up runs to get the feel of it with the bigger pinion, the bigger space, that's when I really started pushing it just to see how fast it would go, to see, how quick it was, how well it accelerated, how well it stopped. So here we are. I've taken the car out and put it through its paces. Now, this is my first true speed car, so take everything I say and keep that in the back of your mind. Those of you who've done real testing and development of these kinds of high-speed RCs may disagree with what I'm saying here. But for me, someone who's just starting out with these kinds of fast cars, here are my initial thoughts. So I didn't change any programming in the ESC. I didn't change the rear spoiler. I did a run with the stock pinion, which is a 20-tooth pinion. And then I did a set of runs with the speed pinion, which is a 26-tooth pinion. And that was the only change. I will say changing out the pinion is not necessarily intuitive. The way everything comes apart is not the norm, I would say, at least not in my experience with many other RC cars. But it's clearly drawn out in the instructions how you do it. It's actually not that difficult. Putting on the 26-tooth pinion, the E-clip on the end of the motor shaft, I couldn't get it to fit. Couldn't get it to fit on there without the pinion rubbing up against some other screws and parts. Not a huge deal. You just use Loctite on your grub screw like you're supposed to. I didn't have any issues. So on the stock pinion, I got 47 miles an hour. Fully charged battery, ADC, and it did great. The car steers well. It's not really a drifting car, but it can. And then on the speed run, I got 58 miles an hour, so an 11 mile per hour increase. Definitely not 70 plus miles an hour, but remember the ESC is still stock. I have not tried the other spoiler. This is the lower downforce spoiler. So we'll make some modifications, maybe fit on a bigger pinion, put on the other spoiler here. It will fit a bigger pinion. I don't know how big you can go before you run out of space. I'm guessing probably 28 tooth. Keeping in mind though that even with the speed pinion on, this thing stayed cool, didn't have any overheating issues. The ESC was good, the battery was good. The only thing that got hotter than I expected was the tires, and they approached 120 degrees. But I was using the car to go fast, and I was getting sideways a little bit, having a little fun with it. With the stock pinion on it, it was much easier to control. I could turn the AVC all the way down and not really have any problems keeping it in a straight line. With the 26-tooth pinion on the speed run, I had to turn the AVC up a little bit because it would want to drift one way or the other. So I'm not generally a big fan of the AVC, but I'm also not really a big fan of crashing, which had a little bump, had a little accident. But overall, a good car, really fast, a lot of fun, absolutely no complaints from me straight out of the box. So we'll make some changes and we'll revisit this here in the near future. Please, if you haven't already, like and subscribe, hit that bell to get notifications when we post a new video. And until next time, get out there and have fun.